spend today celebrating, but also spend today educating yourself on Black joy and Black power and Black art.
Everybody is so sensitive about the topic, but at the same time, everybody's so insensitive.
Your anti-racism cannot and should not be summed up in what you post on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
We need to become more comfortable with the conversation.
Like, why did it take 2020 to start learning, like, how to be anti-racist? Welcome back to another... Well, that was aggressive.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to another episode of Outer Place with Megan and Sherelle. I'm Sherelle.
And I'm Megan.
This is going to be a little shorty episode.
Shouty.
Just like a little teaser.
Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Boom.
It is a federal holiday, so...
At least it is here in America, so...
Oh, yep.
So yeah, we're really not gonna do a full episode. We just wanted to pop on here and say happy holiday.
We're gonna take the rest of the day off. I had a little Wikipedia excerpt about the day.
Oh yeah, from Wikipedia.
Yes.
You want to educate the people?
Yes. So Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he was born in 1929 and he was killed 1968, and then they decided to make it a holiday, I think, after that. So he was known as the spokesperson for nonviolent activism in the civil rights movement to protest racial discrimination in the federal and state law.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I already knew that, but I wanted the
You
words,
wanted the official...
the words to say it.
The official words to say who he is.
Yeah.
What he did.
So for my white folks today on...
By the way, if you're just
day.
listening to this, I'm Black. This is Sherelle. Megan is white.
Yes, very much so. In 2020, I think, with Black Lives Matter, we were all like inundated with everything, but I think like a lot of white people, I was like, I should learn more about this and figure out how to be a better ally, especially to my partner who I love very much. And
I feel like I, as a Black person, have some reactions to that statement you just made.
okay.
Because why does everybody say in 2020 we were all like, why did it take 2020 to start learning like how to be anti-racist?
That's a good question.
And also what happened in 2020 that everybody's referring to.
George Floyd.
Yeah.
Right?
Say his name.
Yes. George Floyd was killed. Yes. There were a lot of Black people that have been killed over the years. So, yeah, I guess some things, I don't know, we could do to not brush it off would be to read books and things. I know that I read White Fragility when 2020 happened with George Floyd was murdered. I read that book along with a lot of other white people, but that is a good book, and it brought me to my senses a little bit.
The book did?
Yes. Yeah, I think...
What's fascinating to me is that, so I'm a Black person who's loved by a lot of white people, including my wife. My parents are white. I'm adopted, so I have multiple sets of parents, and some of them are white. Some of my siblings are white. Grandparents are white. Most of my friends in this area are white. So I'm fascinated because I am so loved, right? And on this day, everybody wants to post a quote, right? Everybody wants to post, they'll Google an MLK post, like, quote, and then they'll post it, or they'll reshare it on social media, and then that'll be their thing. And I've challenged the people around me today to, one, actually learn something about anything to do with racism or the Black experience or Martin Luther King Jr. or his family or the civil rights movement, like learn something about it. Don't just like post or share something.
And don't go out of your way to make sure that everybody knows that you're like learning things.
Yeah. Like you can talk to the people in your life about it, in your circle of influence, talk to them about it, but your anti-racism cannot and should not be summed up in what you post on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is like actually do something, not just like learn, but like donate.
Yes. Yeah. We were going to mention how in the past we started donating to the Loveland Foundation.
Yeah, we've been donating to them. I think we discovered them in like, it's kind of like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But we love them. The Loveland Foundation, specifically, it helps kids of color, particularly those identifying as female, get therapy. Mm-hmm. And we absolutely adore their organization. Yeah.
Free therapy.
Yeah.
For Black girls.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Free therapy for Black girls. So we love them. So, I mean, as a Black girl, I've definitely needed therapy many times in my life and have benefited from it, healed through it. So I'm glad that we do that. So if you guys want to check them out, Loveland Foundation, I think it's .org, I believe.
Probably. So today, to celebrate everything that Martin Luther King Jr. did and sacrificed for this country, for everyone, and people of color, obviously, we are going to donate to the Loveland Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And give a little love to the girls.
To the Goyles.
Yeah.
Girls.
But go out and give some of your generosity to people of color in, whatever foundation that is. Just because I feel like a lot of times we can say what we want to do, or I gotta do this or that to educate myself or show up for the people of color in my life, but just like if you're a penny pincher like me, a really sacrificial like a sacrificial way to do that is to
put your money where your mouth is. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's like, that money and power has been taken away from these people, and we need to replenish.
Yeah.
And give up some of our things.
Yeah, especially for us in our household when we are an interracial couple. So I like it. Also, so today is a celebration of life and also a remembrance of a life. So I want to celebrate some Black joy and some Black people who are doing really cool things. So I wanted to share with you guys. Well, what are those movies? We watched 2 movies this year, a couple months ago, that we really enjoyed.
Yes.
So if you guys want to spend today watching cool movies, Megan's got 2 recommendations for you.
Yeah, they're not about Martin Luther King Jr., but
I'm sure there's lots of movies you could go watch about him specifically, but these are about Black people.
Yeah, today I think I'm gonna take an hour or 2, and I have to figure out which like podcast or movie I'm gonna watch. But this past year, I loved The Woman King. That was a really great movie. Just like so empowering for Black women. I mean, I can't.
All women, period.
I don't know a way to say it. Of like, I was really inspired and it was just really beautiful. And what else? We watched Harriet. That one was like.
That one was pretty cool too.
Yeah, and that's like also.
I like the music in it.
Oh. Yep, that was a good one. So yeah, those are my highlights for Black empowering, life-changing movies. world changing.
Yes. And today, like, if you're a person of color, it's kind of an uncomfortable place that we sit right now, right? Because I'm telling the white people that are in my life and in my sphere of influence, and if you're white and you're listening, then that includes you. I'm telling you to today, spend today celebrating, but also spend today in some intentionality, learning, learning, educate yourself. Even if that is educating yourself on Black joy and Black power and Black owned businesses, or, Black art. So, and the other thing I would do, you guys can watch those movies. Those movies are great. If you want some Black authors that I've been really enjoying the last few months, you can check out Sarah El Arifi. She's amazing. She's queer, pretty positive. She writes sapphic fantasy. She's the author of The Final Strife, which is absolutely amazing. It's basically like, it's basically a world where everybody is separated by class based off of not the color of their skin, but the color of their blood. So that's pretty cool. And then another author, queer Black author that I absolutely adore, is C.L. Clark. She wrote Unbroken and the following series to that, but it's absolutely amazing. Has really changed how I think about changing a society, impacting a nation, a culture, bringing change. And again, that's also a sapphic fantasy book.
I love that.
That's very world building. I freaking love it. You guys should check it out. You should really read this. You never will because you hate fantasy, but you should totally read these.
What do I need to do to get into fantasy books? Like,
I don't know. I feel like you'll get hung up on the names of people and places.
Yeah, I get lost easily.
You just need me to be sitting next to you, like explaining it to you.
Yeah, that's what we do for movies. Like, if you've seen a movie and you want me to see it, it's like, okay, wait, who is that person again? What did I miss?
I feel like you just kind of tune it out. You've never liked fantasy, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So there's 2 Black female authors you guys can check out today.
That's awesome. Yeah, straight from Sherelle's mouth, book recommendations. I know that you're never going to give bad book recommendations.
That's because I don't read bad books. You literally see me. If I'm like chapter 2 into a bad book, I'm like infuriated about it. I'm returning it. I'm like, Amazon, get this off my Kindle now.
I love that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a weird space that we sit in, right? Because it's uncomfortable for people to talk about racism. It's uncomfortable for white people to hear, hey, you need to learn more. I'm imagining, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm imagining it's uncomfortable.
I don't know. It's more of just like, it's a weird territory.
What do you mean weird?
It's weird as in like, it's kind of like an elephant in the room, especially if you are like wanting to be an ally, or like you are, but you're not sure like what would be the most helpful in a relationship with a person of color, with a Black person. Like, there's a lot of like tiptoeing, like, do you want me to reach out to you on MLK Day and say, woo, awesome day today? Do you want someone to talk to? No,
I don't want you to reach out to me.
Like, so
unless you're one of my best friends, I don't want you to reach out to me. I mean, you guys can. You guys who are listening, you can reach out on our
bump up the podcast
on Speaking of Roses Instagram, or reach out in an email. You guys can say whatever you guys want to say. I give you that right.
Well, and we'd love to know what you're doing, what your thoughts are, like
what you're learning, what you're going through. If you have experience in an interracial couple, even if it's not like Black and white, just curious how it is for you. But yeah, it's like I feel weird I'll be real.
Me too.
I feel super weird because I feel like I am conditioned to take care of the white people in my life's feelings. So I don't want to like be as blunt as I usually would about other things, because I know that it's hard for you guys to talk about racism. But also, it's pivotal and needed for us to talk about it, you know? Yeah. And it's not directed at you, but it's a weird place for me to be.
Yeah. I feel like in general, white people need to be more adamant about where they're putting their money and where they're putting their mouth, like standing up for people that are marginalized in a workplace, like when somebody says something inappropriate and just being able to say, hey, that's not cool, or hey, you know, like it's just, everybody is so sensitive about the topic, but at the same time everybody's so can be insensitive. So
yeah. No, I've left jobs because of racism and discrimination before. Like it's still very prevalent in America, and everybody's very sensitive and touchy about it. And black people are like, grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, get past this, get over yourselves, start engaging this conversation. And Megan shared a great place to start is reading White Fragility.
I know people that haven't got through that book, and I feel like if you or somebody you know is like, I just can't get through it, it's like, that's bad. Like, that's kind of racist. I don't know. Just, yeah. Because it's an uncomfortable read, for real. So
it's designed that way.
Yeah, and then you get more comfortable with yourself the more that you read it. You get more comfortable with the idea that like, oh, racism is this whole system that we're conditioned, you know, to have, whether you're someone that is deeply oppressed by it and hurt by it and traumatized by it, or whether you are someone that was conditioned to believe that you're better than black people. You are just superior just because of how you look. And
yeah. And you guys, like, it's a real thing. It's, you know, to show our dirty laundry in our relationship. This has come up in our relationship. You know, early on for us, we had to battle some racism and discrimination that like Megan had in our relationship, you know,
getting very like emotional and defensive if you tried to address some stuff with me of like, hey, that thing you said but didn't sit right. You know, like the way you talk to me in that way, like it didn't sit right. Like you've been very honest with me and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And not everybody gets that level of honesty, because not everybody is married to a black person. Like you don't have a lot of friends you would want to be that honest with, because it's probably exhausting.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't really have that many friends. I have really good friends, and honestly, it's kind of like our relationship. Like if I can't go there with you, then you're probably not that good of a friend to me, you know? Like we're probably actually not that close, because my friends I go there with.
And I've apologized a lot of times, and I've learned how to apologize, and I've apologized for not apologizing the right way before. And so there's when you don't grow up with somebody so close to you, you know, that you're trying to do daily life with, and that is just plain honest with you, and that, you know, like I'm eternally grateful for you and the stuff that you've put up with, in order for me to best love you and show up for you. And my whole world has been open to best loving everybody else, people of color in my life, and hopefully more like being able to stand up for the justice, you know.
Yeah, I like it. And I'll say, like, for me, like I grew up adopted into a mixed family, but most of my family was white. I had like 2 other black siblings, not in my birth family. And then, so I grew up like not having the language to describe what I was experiencing in the world as a Black girl. You know, my parents tried to educate us. You know, I probably know more about the civil rights movement than pretty much anybody I know who didn't just study it.
You told me you went to like museums and
yeah, my parents, like, especially when we lived in the South, we were homeschooled, so we spent a lot of time learning about the civil rights movement and going to see history and also seeing how it was lived out today, especially in the South. But I didn't have the language to describe some of this. I'm still experiencing today. Like, what was back then, I'm experiencing today, you know. And I did experience it as a kid. You know, I grew up playing soccer in the South, and people would use the N-word to talk about my brother or me or my little sister. You know, we've had experience. I've been pulled over more times than I can count just because I'm Black and I was wearing a hoodie. You know, like, racism is still here. It's still happening. And it's important to be anti-racist, and it's vitally important to celebrate Black lives and Black joy and Black power.
I guess for me, I have like such a soft personality, and I don't like conflict, and but just being very, very I guess strong, speaking out against racism and with family members that say something questionable, or even family members that like don't acknowledge important days. Like, I don't know I don't know what everybody's doing today on MLK Day, but like, I just feel like we need to become more comfortable with the conversation of like amplifying Black voices and doing what we can to just be angry for the same thing you're angry about. Like, just, I don't know. There's a lot to be angry about, I feel.
Yeah, I will be real. Today, I'm not angry. Today, honestly, today is just a day for joy for me. Like, I know that there's work to be done, and I know that we are all doing that work. At least if you're in my circle, you're doing that work. But today isn't the day that I'm holding anger. Today is a day that I'm looking at the Black creators around me that I really, really enjoy, that make me laugh. Like, I don't know her name, but everybody's so creative woman on TikTok.
Oh,
she makes me laugh so hard. Or Erin, corporate Erin.
Oh my gosh,
like,
corporate Erin.
There's just so much. There's so much joy out there,
and you're part of that joy just by doing this and by creating stuff.
Yeah. So today I don't know. Today I'm not really like carrying around anger. If I'm in certain parts of the state or the country, then hell yeah. If I'm talking to certain people, hell yeah. But today, in my home, in my life, right now, spending time with you guys and you, I'm not holding anger. I'm focusing on joy. So, and I trust you guys. Go be anti-racist.
And I'm like, oh, sorry.
No, I trust you guys. Go be anti-racist. Go learn. Go be change makers and world shakers. Go do some shit. You know, go shake some shit up. I'm going to lay in a park and do a puzzle and read a book. Sounds awesome. And enjoy myself. That's what I'm going to do today.
I celebrate that you can do that. I celebrate that you can do that today.
I can do that every day.
I celebrate that today you have slightly less obstacles than you would have had during the time of the civil rights movement. I celebrate that you can sit in peace in a park and we can be together, and there's so much I'm thankful for. And I'm so sad for all of the loss that had to happen to get here.
And if you posted an MLK speech or quote Just take it down.
Oh.
Tacky. I personally don't care. I'm like, if that's the only thing you did all year, I don't care.
Oh.
Yeah, so today I'm just gonna go find a park, lay down in a blanket or a lawn chair.
In a blanket.
On a blanket, not in a blanket. I'm not gonna burrito in public.
So
That's
cute.
weird. That's so weird.
Oh.
No, I'm gonna find a little place to chill in the sun because we live in California and it's not snowing here, sucker.
Oh.
And I'm probably just gonna bring my puzzle in an audiobook and just chill. Maybe a beer. Enjoy.
You're so wholesome.
Well, what should I do?
That's exactly what
I
you
feel
should
like
do.
sometimes when you say that's so wholesome, you make me want to go like do something like some hooligan shit.
Oh no.
Like,
okay, yeah, that's
remember who I am.
That's pretty badass, babe.
Thank you.
On a blanket in a park.
I'm just gonna go do some hooligan shit because you keep saying that's so wholesome.
You know, you should be able to do whatever you want today.
Whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, you should be able to go like rob some stores today or something.
No.
It's
not gonna work out very well for me.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna pass on that one. I'm not gonna take your advice for MLK Day.
No, it's probably a terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea. How about you?
But
go
no,
rob a
seriously,
store?
like you deserve the world. You do.
I deserve to conquer the world.
Yeah.
Like your ancestors.
Yeah.
Had to.
Yeah. We should change things up.
I think we are. All right, guys, go be anti-racist. Go celebrate MLK Day. Go enjoy.
Yeah. And we will see you next week.
Woo! Where we'll talk about joy and sadness.
Oh, yeah. We already know what we're going to talk about.
Yep. All right, we'll see you guys there.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for coming over. Bye.